What's going on, everyone? Coming to you with yet another knife review. This one is on one of my wife's knives, and it's one that I'm honestly not very excited about. So this is one she got and she loves to carry, however, in my opinion, is just a flat-out fail. And it comes down to the preferences between her and I. She likes these very stubby, very small knives because she has smaller hands, and these things fit her hand much better. However, for me, as a knife user and reviewer for many, many years, there are many things about this knife that I think just don't hold up and make it an absolute do not buy in my mind. But let's go ahead and talk about it. We'll start with the packaging, which is comically oversized for the size of the knife. It's just Kershaw reusing the same boxes they use for everything. No info there, warning info there, some address info there, made in China, which is fine. I don't mind Chinese-made knives whatsoever. There's the model. The 1313 BLK spoke. And that's the packaging. Let's go ahead and jump into the knife itself, starting with the blade, which is a 2-inch blade, kind of a drop point design with a nice high hollow grind. And there were two steels used to make this knife. The older versions were 4CR14 MOV, which is not great. It's somewhere between a 420J2 and a 425M in terms of functionality and edge retention. Honestly, the 4CR14 MOV version, don't even bother with it all. This version and the more recent versions are 8CR13 MOV, which is a much better steel and much more acceptable steel, all things considered. So, is it a miracle steel? No, it's not. It will dull on you, but it sharpens up incredibly easily. It holds that edge for a reasonable amount of time if you're using it for standard EDC tasks, and it has decent rust resistance, especially when paired with this black coating. So, the blade itself is not an unattractive design. It is a nice kind of broad drop point, and I do think it has a good utilitarian design to it. Came nice and sharp out of box, and it touched up easily after some slicing. In terms of how it sliced as well as any 2-inch blade could. Usually wouldn't get through everything in one pass, but I could come in with a second one and get the job done. My issue isn't really with the blade, if I'm being honest. The blade is adequate and does the best that it can for a knife of its size. My issue, jumping ahead just a little bit, is the weight. This 2-inch bladed knife is 3.1 ounces. This thing is hefty. Why does it weigh as much or more than a Civivi Elementum when it isn't providing me nearly as much knife in terms of cutting performance, in terms of size, in terms of design? It's just too damn heavy. That said, it does have Kershaw's Speed Safe Assist deployment, which you can do with either this flipper tab back here, which is pretty reasonable, or you can try to do with these sarcastic quotation mark thumb studs, which have pretty much no access. They are so tightly against that handle, and for my size hands, it's just really difficult to get in there and use them, especially because that spring is so stout that even when I do get a grip against them, even with my other hand here, I can't pull the knife open using those thumb studs. They're basically more stop pins. Just use the flipper, and I didn't even cut myself on the blade. I think my hand just broke open on the flipper tab, or maybe I did cut myself on the blade. Look at that. I'll be damned. I didn't see myself. I didn't see anything get cut, but there it is. Not going to stop the video. Going to keep on rolling despite that. So, I mean, good slicing blade if that doesn't prove it to you. Hope you're not squeamish of blood. But, yeah, not a great deploying knife in my opinion. The spring is just too damn stiff, but it does come up reasonably fast, and it locks up nice and solid. And we do have an adjustable pivot point if we ever need to adjust it to get that any wiggle out that might develop over time. So the handle is 2.8 inches long, and it's made out of stainless steel, which is part of why this knife is so dang heavy. I mean, 3.1 ounces may not sound like much, but for something that fits well inside the palm of your hand, it definitely is not great. I still don't know how I cut myself. If you guys saw how I did that, drop a timestamp down below. I want to see what I did. That's funny. Yeah, but 2.8-inch stainless steel handle. It is hefty, and it's a little chunky as well, if we're being honest. I mean, it's a kind of a fat knife. No skeletonizing whatsoever on those stainless steel liners, and this is a liner lock design. It does have some jimping right there, which is not bad, but there's not really much access to the liner lock itself. There's no cutout, so we have to dig the fat of our thumb in there and overcome a very stout liner lock in order to get our knife closed, which I'm not really a big fan of. Moving on to the clip. The clip is, in my opinion, pretty bad. Not only is it a loop over deep carry design, which I am not a fan of, but there is so much flare up right there. You can see that. So it snags on seat belts, it snags on car doors, it has very weak tension. And I don't know, guys, I just don't feel like the clip is adequately designed. I'll show you how it carries in pocket real quick. Let's bring this over. It is a loop over deep carry clip. Many of you will like that. It almost entirely hides the knife. And it is reversible, at least to the left-hand side. I just think the design is bad and the tension is even worse. Our centering, by the way, is spot on perfect. Got to give Kershaw credit for that. They at least didn't screw up that particular job. And I'm getting blood all over the knife. I'm going to have to give this a scrubbing afterwards. Hopefully YouTube doesn't take this down, because I don't really feel like redoing the review on it. There is some kind of like fish scale pattern texture on the handle. It does nothing in terms of grip. But it does give it a slightly more interesting look. So, yeah, overall, I'm not super happy with the knife. Ergonomically speaking, it's okay. It's really short, so my pinky finger's just kind of left off there. I can get a decent 3-finger grip, though, and it is actually reasonably ergonomic, all things considered, despite its smaller size, so it could have been a hell of a lot worse. Competitive options, not going to spend too much time on this because I don't have too many to mention, but we have the CRKT Squid. Reviewed that previously, and that's a great knife. We have the Schrade SCH 303 Mini. Outstanding blade. HCR 14 MOV blade, stainless steel frame lock on this one. Price about 25 bucks, I think. 9CR 18 MOV blade, stainless steel frame lock. Price about 13 bucks. Forgot to mention price on the spoke, about $22. And then finally we have the Schrade Mini Landshark AUS 8 blade aluminum handle liner lock, spring assisted. No longer in production. Current price on eBay as of the time of this filming, about 20 bucks. So I would take any of these knives over the Kershaw Stoked. Kershaw Stoked. I'm just not stoked about it. It's, in my opinion, kind of a fail of a chunky little fat EDC knife. But my wife loves it, so I guess that's all that matters. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And until next time, peace, and I'll see you later.